So in this question, we are having a point P at a distance 100 meter from point O. Point P is moving such that whose velocity vector is always making 60 degree with this line OP. This is clearly said in the question. So now what they are asking, after what time the point P reaches. So this can be worked out like this, You just take the component of this velocity along this line. So that will give you the effective velocity of point P along this line. So this is nothing but 10 cos 60 meter per second. This will be the speed of the particle along this line. Now this speed is constant. You must know whenever the speed is constant, we can use the formula. It is distance divided by time. Distance divided by time. So now I am finding time. After what time the point P reaches O. So it may turn like this in an elliptical path, spiral path, and finally it may come and touch point P. So that means where the time t is equals distance divided by speed. So distance divided by speed. This is equals, the distance is 100 meter and the speed is along OP we should consider, that is 10 cos 60. So 10 cos 60. So many per second. So this is equal to 100 meter into second divided by 10, 100 meter into second divided by 10 into cos 60 is half meter. So meter and meter cancelled. So this is a 10 into 2 seconds. So finally t is equal to 20 seconds. So that means after 20 seconds from this point, point P touches O. Means option C is right. As you can understand in this problem, here is a man and who is moving forward with a speed 10 meter per second, who is holding an umbrella at an angle 30 degree forward. So knowing these things, and we have to choose one of the best option among these four. Let me take one by one. Option A, which says the rain is falling at an angle 30 degree with the vertical. If this is the rain and this is the vertical, okay, so rain should come like this along this direction, and we obviously know the man is moving forward. Man is moving forward, and now the effective the velocity of the rain will come like this. This is the effective velocity of the rain. So from this picture you can observe, if this angle is 30 degree, okay, if this angle is 30 degree, so this particular angle is greater than 30 degree. That means the effective velocity of the rain will make an angle with the vertical more than 30 degree. So then the condition what he said here, he always holding the umbrella at an angle 30 degree with the vertical. So this fails. So this fails because here the angle with which he is holding the umbrella is more than 30 degree. So that means option is wrong. Okay, so I also mark wrong here in option here. Well, so let me think over option B. So rain may be falling at an angle 30 degree with the vertical with a speed 20 meter per second away from the man. So for this what we can think is in option B. See, the rain may fall like this. So this is the forward direction. So which will make an angle 30 degree with the vertical, and this is rain. Well, uh, it is said that the man is moving, you know, we already know the man is moving forward with some velocity like this. So man is moving forward, and now we have to think over the effective velocity of the rain. So it may come somewhere like this. This is effective velocity. If we assume the raindrop, which is here, is about to hit the body of the man, then the horizontal component of the velocity of the rain. So this is V rain sine 30. This must be is equals uh, as velocity of the man. This is the condition. So it's a border case. Now we shall verify what the value of the velocity of rain comes. If it comes 20 degree, 20 meter per second, then this option B is right. So let me check. So VR is what I need. Sine 30 is half into, is equals, right, Vm is 10 meter per second. We know the value. So that means VR is equals 20 meter per second. VR is 20 meter per second. So this means the speed of the rain is correctly given in this option. So this option is right. Option B is correct. So option C, let us check what happens with this option C. Since this question is of one option correct, we already got the answer, but still we just verify what happens with these two. So C, option C, rain is falling vertically. So if rain is falling like this, then the speed of the rain is we already know, which is now is it anything here? Nothing is said. Nothing said here. Okay, so leave it. So the man is moving in a forward direction. Man is moving like this. So now the no, the vertical angle that what appears here. So this is the effective velocity of the rain. Effective velocity of the rain. Okay, so effective velocity of the rain. So now one thing you have to observe, the effective velocity will make what angle with the vertical? Say this is an angle alpha here. So now what we have to do is, in order to obey the criteria, the velocity of the raindrop with respect to the man along the horizontal is negative, like this. So this will be minus 10 meter per second. So the boundary condition says this may happen. If this is the situation and this angle, if it is 30 degree, this angle is 30 degree, it is a given condition. Yeah. So we just verify what it may happen. So again, this horizontal velocity of the rain should be is equals 10 meter per second, and this is equals, VR sine 30. VR sine 30. So that means VR is one more time, which is 20 meter per second. But in this option, he has not given any value for the rain. So that means it is little doubtful. So I cannot go for choosing this option. So I may think this is wrong. So no doubt this is wrong because we already obtained option B. So probably this is one of the best question to know the concept how we can use the vector drawings. Here we are having a cylinder. So this is our cylinder and whose cross-sectional area at the mouth, what it is given is S. Okay, so this area is S. Now it is said rain is falling vertically, you know? So rain is falling like this. This is rain. So the raindrops will collect in this vessel, and it is said the air is still. Okay, so when the wind starts blowing in some direction which is northeast with velocity v, the rate of collection of water in the vessel. See, be careful. See, these arrow marks are indicating you how actually the rain is falling vertically. So this being collected in this vessel. So how much water will get collected in the vessel in some time can be evaluated like this. You know what I can do is the volume of the vessel that I want to do first calculation. So volume of the volume of the vessel, say V is equals, if I say this is the vertical height, say it is Y. So then volume of the vessel is S into Y. So this is how we have to express the volume of the vessel. If the volume gets filled in some time t, say in time t, it fills completely, then the mass of water collected, say m. Under that moment, we can write. So mass of the water that is collected in in this container is density of water into the volume. So if you divide both sides by m, I mean t, m divided by t, this is equals rho into v divided by t. But what actually happening? Slowly the water drops, the raindrops get collected in this vessel. So here is a variable of the collected volume. Okay, so let this is a collected volume. collected volume of water. Then what we can write? V is equals S into, no, that Y is a variable, is variable. So at that moment what I can write? It is dm divided by dt is equals rho into, right. So instead of V I should write like this, S into dy by dt. So S into dy becomes, it is dv, which is a d, I mean now you should be careful when you are writing. This is a S into dy. Okay, it's a very small amount of water that is collected, which is dv is equals S into dy. So instead of writing this, so you can write like this. So now in differential form I am seeing this one. Okay, so just observe the dy by dt is nothing but the speed with which the raindrop is entering, that is being collected. So if we say this much rain drops are collected, then we can say this dy by dt as v. So then dm by dt is equals rho s into v. So this is the speed with which raindrops are coming into the container. So now be careful. This particular thing is the rate of collection in cubic meter per unit time, say it is second, and this is rate of collection, right. So rate of collection in kg per second. So we have to now judge in what way we have to choose the option. In all the given options we are seeing the product Vs. That means rate of collection in cubic meter per second probably given. So this thing should be treated. Now what is said in the question? Wind starts blowing in some direction, right? Uh, it doesn't make any difference in any of the direction we choose the wind. See what happens. Rain is not only coming in this portion of a area. Rain is coming here. Rain is coming here. Rain is coming here also, in front and in everywhere. So when the wind blows in some direction, only the direction of the raindrops which are falling here will be shifted. Okay, so raindrops will be shifted like this. So this is the thing how we can treat. So amount of raindrops which are coming down once again remaining same. Only the thing is their vertical position shifted. So that means when the rain is falling like this inclined situation because of blowing wind, so nothing happens to the rate of collection, which still remains AV. So this is the answer for this question. In this question, we are having a collection of large number of particles which are moving with a common speed v in random direction inside a container. the magnitude of relative velocity between a pair of particles to be found. First of all, I will take a pair of two particles. Say one particle is here, which is moving with a velocity Vb in this direction, and another particle is moving in some other direction with a velocity Va. If this is the situation, then this direction is indicating you the velocity of the relative motion between A and B particles. So in this situation, the relative velocity can be rewritten like VAB is equals what I can write, VA minus VB. Okay, so VA minus VB. This is how I can write VA minus VB. Otherwise, I can also write by using cosine rule. Okay, so I can make use of cosine rule for this situation. So which says me the square of the relative velocity between this one, the magnitude. Okay, so the magnitude of the relative velocity between the two particles A and B, this one whose square is equals VA square plus VB square. This is what I can write, minus 2 times VA VB into cos theta, and theta means the angle between the two vectors VA and VB. This is what I can write. Now we know each particle is moving with the same velocity. That means VA is equals VB. This is said in the question itself, and each particle is moving with a common speed V. So using this criteria, what I can write is VAB square is equal to which is equal to what I can write. So when I put V here and V here, V here and also here, so finally I may get 2V square, and in the bracket I can keep 1 minus cos theta inside. So from mathematical identity, what I can write for this cos 1 minus cos is, this is 2 sine square theta by 2. This is what I can write for 1 minus cos theta. So by using this condition, so I can write here, in this place, what I can write is VAB square is equals 2V square into 2 sine square, right, 2 sine square theta by 2. This is what I can write here. So now the magnitude of the relative velocity, remember this is not the average, this is only the magnitude, instantaneous velocity, no, relative velocity between the two particles is finally will be 2 times V sine theta by 2. This much I got from these conventions. So now I have to make the average of this relative velocity, because they're asking the averaged over all the pairs. So now I have to average. Okay, so if I make average of all these, so then this will be now the average velocity, average relative velocity between any two pairs. There's a huge number of collections what way it is having. So every particle will make one complete motion inside the container, calling one cycle, let me say. So now I am simply taking the average of all these functions, the velocities over a cycle of 2 pi, this period. So taking that into consideration, it is 0 to 2 pi into, so I mean inside. So what I have to write is 2v sine theta by 2, 2v sine theta by 2 into d theta. Okay, so now I have to consider the integration of the numerator. So the average velocity of the particles A and B is equal to, now it is 2v divided by 2 pi is nothing but v divided by pi. This much I can keep outside. So now I have to make the integration over the cycle 0 to 2 pi for it is the remaining terms are only sine theta by 2. This much thing is left inside along with d theta. So the average of the relative velocity between the two particles A and B now is equal to which is v divided by 2, v divided by 2 into minus cos theta by 2 minus cos theta by 2, this is pi, remember, and all these things should be divided by half, should be divided by half with the limit 0 to 2 pi, the limit 0 to 2 pi. So now finally, so I can rewrite this average velocity, relative velocity is equal to, which is 2v divided by pi, 2v divided by pi, and this one I can keep the negative sign here also. Otherwise, I can write like this, minus cos for theta. If I put 2 pi, so it will be simply pi, and minus of minus it is plus cos 0. So this will be the whole term. This is equal to minus 1 of minus 1. Okay, so this term, and this is plus 1, plus 1. Oh, and here is one more minus. Okay, so all this bracket term will come 2. So that means relative velocity, otherwise I call it the average relative velocity is equal to 2v divided by pi. In the bracket it is 2. So that means finally it is the magnitude of the average relative velocity between the particles A and B is 4v divided by pi, 4v divided by pi. So definitely we know 4 divided by pi is more than 1. 4 divided by pi is more than 1. That means this whole term is greater than v. This whole term is greater than v. So now we simply think, so greater than v and less than v, equal to v, and we cannot say anything. So I choose, so I feel it is better to choose option A as the best choice. So that's all about this particular question.